Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Wednesday the 19th of October 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Let's jump into it. Story number 1, the benchmark S&P ASX 200 hit a 5-week high of 6,820.5 points around lunchtime today before closing up at 6,800 points. That was up about 0.3%. The banks were higher, led by National Australia Bank, which rose more than 1%. The exception was Westpac. It fell more than 1%, following news it's interested in acquiring terminal payments business, Tyro. The retailers were mixed. The energy companies were lower, industrials and utilities higher, and the technology stocks were flat. Nickel, copper and gold miner Chalice Mining was among the best performers, up 5.5%, while lithium plays Core Lithium and Pilbara Minerals jumped 8% and 6.5% respectively. Megaport, after releasing its September quarterly update, dropped more than 20%. Story number 2, plenty of corporate news around. BHP reported a drop in coal production during the September quarter, but remained upbeat about iron ore. Its share price fell nearly 1%. Origin Energy held its AGM today, and boss Frank Calabria forecast a decent jump in earnings this financial year. There will be a higher contribution from the electricity business as the higher wholesale prices flow through to customer tariffs. Not good news for us customers, really. Its share price fell more than 1%. Fund manager Perpetual said clients pulled $1.4 billion from its international managed funds and $300 million from its Australian funds as assets under management fell about 1%. Its share price rose slightly. And Pendal, which is merging with Perpetual, reported net outflows of $2.3 billion, but its share price jumped nearly 6%. Another fund manager, Magellan, was put on ratings watch by research house Morningstar, sending its share price down 3%. Medibank went into a trading halt, reportedly related to a cyber incident. And finally, Mexican fast food chain Guzman y Gomez has been valued at $1.5 billion after Aware Super took a stake in the group. Of course, Guzman isn't listed on the ASX, but it's worth a lot of money. Story number 3, the New South Wales Emergency Services Minister has warned that almost every river system west of the Great Dividing Range will flood. More rain is expected in coming days, and rivers and catchment areas in the west of New South Wales are already full. Towns including Bourke and Moama are expected to receive substantial falls. All the rivers west of the Great Divide flow into the Murray River, and it's expected to break its banks within coming days. There are concerns the river's level could exceed the 1993 floods. In Victoria, the state government has pledged an extra $19.5 million to support farmers. It includes money for one-off payments, as well as access to concessional loans of up to $250,000. There is some good news, though. The rainfall in coming days won't be as widespread or as intense as last week. That's according to the Bureau of Meteorology. That means there shouldn't be any new flooding. Some good news, I suppose. Story number 4, all company directors must be registered with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission by 30th of November. The unique 15-digit identifier will be used by directors and IR regulators to trace directors' relationships with companies over time. The scheme was created to help prevent illegal activity. Director IDs are administered by the Australian Business Registry Services, which is managed by the Tax Office. And finally, story number 5, politics and policy in the United Kingdom has certainly become a fickle business, with the new Chancellor, that's the 4th in 4 months, preparing to push through a range of tax hikes and spending cuts in the upcoming budget. A couple of days ago, the UK was preparing to slash taxes, but on Monday, Prime Minister Liz Truss did a massive U-turn, scrapping those plans. And today, Chancellor Jeremy Hunt hinted that the budget on October 31 is expected to include tax increases, with banks and oil and gas companies being a target. He said ministers would have to exert tight spending control to prove to financial markets that Britain can bring the deficit under control. Indeed, they will. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 19th of October, 2022. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning for the Thursday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.